don't forget to think the sweet or not. Now, we need to start off with databases. All right. Introduction to databases. Okay. So great. So now the first thing we need to do, we need to install the package. So I need to install what? MariaDB. MariaDB comes with MySQL, so they are both and one. It's just this change of name. So MariaDB asterisk. I want to install everything, or I can check for the particular name. MariaDB server. It comes with MariaDB. This is server, right? So I can copy that guy, and I'll say no. So I just want to install, I just want to install yum install only MariaDB 105 server. I think that's what I want to install. All right. We have server utils and server this. Let me check. So it's also installing all dependencies. All right. In as much as I'm installing only this package, all right, it comes with added dependencies. These are the installing dependency, and these are the active dependency, and these are the weak dependency. All right. These guys are coming because of I'm using what yum is a resolver. So I'll say yes, install. All right. So this has been installed. All right. So now let's check the service. System CTL status MariaDB.service. Okay, I didn't talk about. So in the process of dealing with packages, we'll be talking about services. So that's where this guy comes into the picture. System D. All right. System D is system daemon. So what are daemon? Let me just talk permit me, guys. Daemon. So daemon are processes that runs on the system every now and then. They are processes. All right. They are processes. So when I call it system daemon, which is system D. All right. System D. Right. That D is daemon. Okay. Which is this guy. Okay. System daemon. So daemon are processes that runs on the system every now and then. Daemon. These are processes that runs on the system every now and then, every now and then. All right? They're called daemon. They run every time in the system. So system D is a service manager. All right? It manages services. Like we saw when we did the chapter of Linux processes. Any application, every application has corresponding process. And that corresponding process gets created whenever you start the service. If you don't start the service, the process will not be created. And that process helps to keep the service or the application alive. All right. So we've installed this MariaDB application. This MariaDB comes with a service that needs to keep it alive. So we need to start the service. If we don't start the service, a process will not be created that will keep the application alive. Like you can see now, this guy is loaded, but it's not active. So we need to make it active. So I need to say what? Restart. So system D is a service manager on Linux machine. Now let's check the status one more time. You can see my MariaDB have started. everything is active and is what is running. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I've not set up my database yet. I want to log into my database. All right. So if I say MySQL, MySQL, right? Because when you install MyIDB, comes with MySQL clients. So MySQL, to log into your MySQL database, you say -u. U is for the root, and -p. It will always ask for a password, right? Let me see if I can have a blank password. Root can't, it will, don't enter. All right, it came to a blank password. All right, yeah, exit. Maria, MySQL. I'm coming back inside again. There's a default user called root. I'm logging in with root. Root has a blank password. There's no password for blank. And this behavior is very risky. All right, it's very risky in production, right? So once you install MySQL server or MariaDB, whatever, right? So the first thing you need to do, you need to set up the configuration. And that configuration is called MySQL secure installation. This is the first command you need to run. So I'm going to exit, because as it is now, my database is not secured. So I want to make my database to be very, very secure. So this is what I will do. I'll run this command, MySQL_secure. It's a script file, secure installation. Just press enter, enter. So it will now start taking me through the entire process of setting up a proper database for production. Guys, don't start. Don't start. Let me show something. So I think below this belt, oh, sorry. From here, we are now getting deeper into system administration. Everything we've been doing here, from here, they are just getting to know the in and out of Linux, how to use Linux, right? We've learned the integrity of Linux, okay? Now we need to start applying some system administration skill sets. These skill sets will be needed in DevOps when you start working as a DevOps engineer. All right. You'll be asked, you create a database. We don't start. So we're going to create everything that pertains to what? Database. We're going to look at web server. Web server for hosting web application. So in this class, we are going to create web servers on Apache and Nginx. And we're going to deploy simple JavaScript framework. So in JavaScript framework, we have AngularJS, we have React.js, we have Node.js. So we're going to see how we can get a source code of this application, run it on our base machine, and launch it on a web browser. So we're going to play around. So these are things you'll be doing while you are working as a DevOps engineer as well. All right. Now we shall look at what? Certificate management. How do you get a wildcard certificate? If you go in the organization that needs a wildcard, how do you get it? Now, once you've gotten the wildcard certificate, how do you make sure that your web application uses a wildcard certificate? We're going to talk about this. So at this part, we'll talk about what we call self-signed certificate, but we'll have an idea. Is at this stage, we are going to talk about a special kind of wildcard certificate that is free. A wildcard certificate is not free. You buy it from a provider. But we have one that's called Let's Encrypt, which is free. So with Let's Encrypt, we will demonstrate how to securely protect your web application, right? So that your website will have something like this padlock secured. All of these, we are going to do it, all right? This is part of the DevOps. Not purely DevOps, it's just system administration. Sorry for that, system administration, but you need to learn how to do it. Then finally, this is the Ogbonga guy. Ogbonga, SSH remote management. So we'll be running up Linux with what? SSH. So we'll do a lot of beautiful things when we get to what? SSH. All right. So this part so far is into system administration. So please be attentive and take it very seriously, because these are things you'll be doing when you start working in real time. Now, let's set up our database for production use. Now, it's saying, note, running all parts of this script is recommended. CO is a warning. Don't skip any part of this script. It's recommended for all MariaDB servers in production use. Please read each step carefully. In order to log into MariaDB to secure it, we will need the current password for the root user. If you have just installed MariaDB and haven't set the root password yet, you should just press enter. Enter current password. We don't have password for the root user. I'll press enter. Now, okay, successfully used password. Moving on. Setting the root password or using the Unix socket ensures that nobody can log into your MariaDB root user account without the proper authorization. You already have your root account protected, so you can safely answer no. Switch to Unix authentication. They say we should answer no. No. Let's see. Skipping. You already have your root account protected, so you can safely answer no. Change your root password. Yes. I need to change the root password. Yes. Give it password. 1, 2. Verify. 1, 2. Enter. Now, you say what? Password updated successfully. Reloading privilege tables. Success. By default, MariaDB installation has anonymous user. So there's a user that you can log on with by default without any password. So if you can gain access to that, is any MariaDB server that has anonymous user enabled, you can enter through that enabled user and escalate your privilege. All right. So now this guy is saying that we should remove that user. Allowing anyone to log into MariaDB without having a user account created for them is intended only for testing. And to make the installation go a bit smoother, you should remove them before moving into what? Production environment. Do you want to remove anonymous user? Yes, I want to remove it. Enter. Success. Normally, root should only be allowed to connect from local hosts. This ensures that someone cannot guess at the root password from the network. Disallowed root login remotely. So I want to disable root from logging in remotely. All right, because of security reasons, I say yes. Roots can only log in locally. Yes. Success. By default, MariaDB comes with a database name test that anyone can access. This also intended only for testing and should be removed before moving into what? Production. Remove test database. Yes. Reloading the privilege tables will ensure that all changes made so far will take effect immediately. Reload privilege table. I say yes. Cleanup, all done. If you have completed all of the above steps, your MariaDB installation should now be secured. Thanks for using what? MariaDB. Now let's log in now. I can say MySQL, the user is root. It's taking, why is it taking me inside now? Wait, -p. 1, 2. Wait, why this thing? Wait, MySQL. MySQL convert, find root, install DB. MySQL install DB, secure installation, install DB, set permission, MySQL access, MySQL admin. Wait, let me see, MySQL admin. Guys. Okay, create database. Let me just show something brief. I don't know why it's supposed to have the roots user. We cleared everything now. MySQL install DB. Let me check something. Okay, MySQL user table already exists. All right, run MySQL upgrade. MySQL, I'm coming, guys. Upgrade. Let me see something. Already upgraded. Okay, there is use false if you already has a DB database. All right, let me go inside Maria DB. I don't know why it's using that Maria DB. Let me exit. Now Maria DB. Okay. That was my SQL. So let me do it at Maria DB level. All right. So Maria DB secure installation. Maria DB secure installation. The same thing we did on MySQL. Let's do it here. Enter root password. I don't have root password. Switch. Let me see. Say yes. Change root password. Yes. Change root password. 1212. Remove anonymous user. Yes. Disallow root login. Yes. Remove test database. Yes. Reload privileges. Yes. All right. That's fine now. Now let me try with, because the request is from MySQL, the request is moving towards MariaDB. I think that's why we're having that error. This now, Ogbeni, wait to MariaDB -user root. Guys, we'll continue. I don't know why we'll continue, man. All right. So if you want to see your databases, you say what? Show databases, semicolon. You see all your database. If you need to create database, create database name, students, created. So show databases to list the database. You can see I've created a new database called what? Students. Now to use the database, I'll say what? Use students. I have switched. You can see that database changed. I have switched to what? Students database. So here I can now create table. Show tables is empty. There's no table. I can say create table, the table name. Table name I can say I can say students student record. Students records. Right? Student records. So in that table, I want to insert okay, student record. The student record comes with the field, the columns. I can say ID, the data type is integer. All right. Then I'll say first name, the data type is varchar, the size is 20. I can say last name, the data type is varchar, and the size is 20. So if I'm done, lock these guys, put semicolon, let's see, enter. So it has been created. So if I say show tables, I have what? One table, student what? Record. So there's no information about in that record. All right. So I want to insert into that table. So insert into student records, students records. The columns are ID, comma, F name, comma, and what? Last name. Then values will be IDs 001. First name is Legbosi. Then last name is Frank. Okay. Then semicolon. Let's see. All right. Success. Now I want to check this record I have inserted into this table. I'll say select asterisk from table name, students records. All right. Semicolon. I need to put semicolon. So this is the record I inserted into what? This table, student record. So this is how you'll be playing with. This is very basic. This is SQL. All right. Playing with databases, right? The unfortunate part is this course is not a database course. All right, I just show us how to get started, a few steps. So if you have interest, you can always look at there's one all right, you can always look at on especially database courses. All right, database courses, all right, on MySQL, okay, and it will lead you very well. So on my student database, I want to delete the table. I can say, is it drop table name, students student records, semicolon, deleted. Show tables, empty. So show databases. All right, so if I want to delete database, I'll say delete database name, students, semicolon. Just delete that database. Delete then the database name. Delete, drop, it's only, you only drop table, students, you only drop table. No, it is delete, guys. Okay, let's switch before you delete. Use MySQL. I'll switch now. Delete database students, right? Put semicolon. It's not going. Okay, let's continue, guys. All right. So this was what? MySQL, right? On your base machine, on your standalone machine. So this is how you install MySQL on your standalone machine. Likewise, we can also set up Postgres. Where's that guy? Postgres. Postgres is another form of database. Let's check it out. So I'll just come here. I'll say what? Yum install Postgres. Postgres SQL, right? I'll hit enter. I'll add asterisk. I'll say why. Yes, install. All right, so Postgres has been installed. Like every other packages, Postgres has its own word, service. So if I say systemctl status, Postgres SQL.service is not running. So we need to run it. So systemctl restart Postgres.service. What the, oh, the okay. There's something very corny about Postgres, right? So you need to run a process first. Postgres comes with a PSQL. So this user, you have to switch to the Postgres user. There's a user that's got created whenever you install a Postgres server. So you have to switch to that user. This is the user. Enter. So it is this user that has the what's it called? The right. Let me check something. Systemctl restarts Postgres. Okay, cannot. Enough it. Okay, enough it. Access denied. PSQL. Okay, this process is not running. All right, let me exit. Exit first. Exit. Why is this service not running? Restart. Now, a lot of the time, you always get this kind of error. All right. Service like this is not running. You just install your package and you try to install, you try to start the service is not running. So it's always best you check why the problem, why is it not running? So let's check status. First, we'll check status. Copy it and paste. Check status. Let's check what it's saying. Disabled. Fail to start Postgres. Fail. We don't really know the reason why it's failing to start Postgres. We don't know. I think I've encountered this error before. Now let me restart it again. All right, so this is what we are getting here. Okay, this is something else. Let me restart it again and see something. Restart. Now it says you should run this other command, journalctl. Let's run this command and see details. Paste. Let's see. Why did it fail? Let's see why it failed. I started from here. Subject unit process exited by system D. An exec preprocess belonging to has exited. The process is exited and its exit code is 1. Fail with exit code this. System D. In progress has entered fail states which result this. So it's not giving us any better information. All right. The job identifier is this and the job result is failed. Now, to really get why this thing is failing, all right? So let's look at the logs. So I'll go to my var directory. Remember we did talking about var directory. So under var, I'll go to what? Logs. Log. Change directory to log. Change directory to log. Now under log now, I should see there's MariaDB, Postgres. Do you have Postgres or don't have Postgres? I should go to last log or either last log or messages. Let me check this last log. Let me check the content of this last log. So I can tell it. I can tell the last 10 lines of that log. All right. Let me see. There is nothing in that file. There's nothing. Let me go into that file. Last log. There's nothing here. Which log has Amazon firewall journal? Let me check that. Change directly to journal. Let me check. There's nothing here. Tally log, essay, private. This for MariaDB, Crony, audit. Amazon. Let me check first under Amazon. No. Let me go back. Let me check. So it'll be under log. Under log. Okay, let me locate anything about Postgres. Postgres SQL. Postgres. I'm not getting anything. So let me restart this guy again. Let me restart the service. Let me see systemctl restart Postgres. Why is it not starting? One sec, guys. Postgres. Let's do some googling. Google. Guy, learn this thing though. I'm doing research. I'm having error. I'm trying to start a Postgres server. It's not running. And I need to use it. So how do we go about it? Postgres SQL not starting. Let's check. Linux. Unable to start SQL.service. Let's check. Let's check some of what these guys are saying. Files belonging to there's something happening somewhere. Valib. This valib. Failed to start Postgres. Union progress not okay. These are not found. Okay. Wait, let me check. System CTL restarts. No. All right. And that error message will not show us, will not lead us to anywhere. It's just vague. It's just, there's no error message. We can't get the proper error message. All right. Now, we can't get the proper error message. So we can't go anywhere. So let's check. Let's look at things that could cause Postgres not to start. Let's check. This guy said finally he figured this out. There was already a file present, user lib systemd Postgres. So maybe due to the presence of this file, I was not able to start Postgres service. Then I tried to start service as follows. Now let's check what is in this location. Let's check what's there. Let's check. So this is troubleshooting now. Change directory, user lib, all right? Systemd, then system. Now under this now, there's Postgres. Let's check ls. There are so many contents here, so I can't keep scrolling one after the other. So I'll grep it. Can you now see the usefulness of grep? I'll grep for Postgres. Anything post is not there. Let me check. Yes, I could see Postgres.service. I could also see Postgres at the service. Guys, see the application of what? Grep. The basic things we did. They're coming into play. Now, maybe the service should start with this guy. Let me try something now. Let me now say, instead of using this guy like this, let me just use this guy. So I'll say system CTL restart Postgres. Let me add symbol there. Enter. There's no service name like that. Now let's check what is inside this file. Postgres.service. User is Postgres. Service notify. User is Postgres. Out of memory score adjust. Let's see. Environment. Exec stats. User leave exec Postgres check DB directory. I see. Okay, guys. I've encountered this error before, so it's just there's something I need to run first. I think it's Postgres setup. Let me see. Postgres SQL setup. Let me see something. I see. Okay. No mode specified. We need to initialize --initdb. I see. Thank you. After this guy has been created, yeah, initializing the logs, initializing database, valid pgsql data, then initialize the logs in valid this. Then we can start the Postgres. System CTL restarts Postgres. Perfect, guys. So, guys, I don't know if you guys are looking at this troubleshooting. This is troubleshooting. I remember I've done something, I've encountered something like this, but I can't get why it's not starting. So on Postgres, you can see that databases are unique. The way you start MariaDB or MySQL is different from the way you're starting Postgres. They are different engines. So their operations are different. You need to know their operations. All right? Now, I needed to initialize the database and the logs for Postgres before I can start this guy. So all the while we've been trying to start it, it's telling us error. There was no definite error. We were not getting any definite error. All right? It's because I've done it before. I realized that, no, this guy asked something. So I said, okay, Postgres setup. This guy led me to that place. This number 20, this place led me. I just quickly recall. There's something like that. All right. So please, this is it now. Okay. So now, I can log into Postgres. But before I log into Postgres, I need to switch to the Postgres user. I'll switch to the Postgres user. It is only this user that has the right to use Postgres. Enter. I'm now inside of what? Postgres database. So Postgres has its own operations. To list databases, I say /L. So /L is going to list for me databases, list of databases. Name is Postgres, owner is Postgres, name of database temp0, etc., etc. Like I said, this is not a database course. If not, you would have taken it further. You just have a glimpse of where we are heading to. All right? Because in production, you'll be asked to set up a MySQL DB database on a standalone machine, as well as a Postgres database on a standalone machine. So our drive is the cloud. So let's see how we can play and wrap this session up with what? RDS. So we've seen MySQL, we've seen PostgreSQL. Now let's go and see what? RDS. So I'll go to my what? AWS console, right? AWS console, I'll search for what? RDS. So you can see we are coming back to what? AWS. I'll go to RDS. So setting up RDS is very simple, all right? So I'll go to what? Databases. Their own database. I'll click on what? Create database. Now on my left-hand side, before I create database, there are different windows. Query editor, performance insights, snapshots, export in Amazon S3, automated backups, reserve instances, proxies, subnet groups, parameter groups, option groups, custom engine, zero ETL integration, etc., etc. Now, before you create a database in RDS, in AWS, there is something called subnet groups. A subnet group is a collection of subnets. Like I have here on my VPC. On my VPC, right? I have subnets, right? So you have to create a subnet group. So the subnet group is going to have different subnets. Minimum is always 3 different subnets. So you attach the subnet group to the database engine. But let's see before. So that when I get to that stage, I will explain. Come to the database and click on what? Create database. Is it a standard database or an easy create? If we go with standard database, we're going to see different engines. We have different engine. We have a MySQL engine that is compatible with Aurora. There's Aurora. All right. We have ordinary MySQL. Now, AWS database is divided into 2 parts. AWS database is divided into 2 parts. We have one called Aurora, and we have the other called RDS. All right. Now, RDS is an acronym. It means relational database system or service. Service. All right. Aurora is the name. It's not an acronym. Let's come back. RDS. I'm working with RDS, not Aurora. RDS. Now, I'll also show us Aurora after now. We have these engines: MySQL, MariaDB, Postgre, Oracle, MS SQL Server, depending on the kind of engine that you want. So let's start with MySQL. Click on what? MySQL. I will scroll. MySQL community filter. Now, here is the version of the engine version. This is MySQL 8 point something, something, something. If you want to drop the version, you can drop it. But this guy is giving me something. So let's work with the 8.0. Now, what is your template? If it's a dev test, or is it a production, or is it free tier? So on free tier, there is no what? Availability and durability. It means that if there's no replicated instance, all right, they're not giving you high availability, right? So, but on production, you get high availability and fast and consistent performance. So let's try on production, because when you go start working, what you'll be doing is what? Production, availability and duration. Now, we have what we call multi-AZ DB cluster. Now, this DB cluster will be, it has other instances, replicated instances, right? Now, also have multi-AZ database instance. So database instance will be replicated in more than one AZ. Create a primary DB instance and a standby DB instance. So what this guy will do is, he's going to create one primary instance and a secondary instance. Now, what that guy will do is, it creates a DB cluster with a primary DB instance and two readable standby database instances. So for this cluster, I'm going to have a primary instance and two secondary instances. All right. So those instances, they act as what? Data redundancy. So whatever I have on my primary DB will be replicated into what? The secondary, they call it standby database instances. All right. And people will get money. Organization will get money. They always go with this guy. And if they are running critical services, all right. So this guy, so you can see each one I'm clicking, things are changing. All right. This guy, or you just want only a single instance, a single DB instance. Create a single DB instance with no standby. There's no standby. So let's go with that option. Now, what is your database name identifier? Let me call it e-commerce ecom db ecom db-01 e-commerce db-01. Now the credential, the username is admin, or you can change it, but let's keep it as admin. Now you can set the password. I want to set the password CCRLIADUL. Instance configuration. Now let's check now. Database instance class. So for database instance class, this is database instance. So this instance has 2 virtual CPU and 8 GB RAM. That's fine. Let me work with this instance. All right. It's a standard class. If I want a memory optimize, it will change. All right. Standard class. The confirm master password is invalid. Or is it valid? It's invalid. Okay. Constraint, at least 8 printed ASCII can't contain any of the following. This. Okay. I have a. All right. See. 1, 2. 1, 2. It must be 8. It must be 8. CECILIADUM 1, 2, 3. CECILI. All right, that's clear. Now, database instance is standard class. Then storage type is this allocated storage. I can just give it in production, it will increase. Oh, depends, sha. The minimum value is 100 GB. Then if I need to use storage auto scaling, all right, if I need to set storage auto scaling, it's enabled by default, all right? It's always best, it's enabled. So if your storage class, your storage size is 100 GB, your auto scaling will start from what? 110, right? So I'll have 110. The value is not within a valid range. Why is not a valid range? 2 200. Okay, all right. Now, connectivity. How do you want to connect to this guy? Don't connect to an EC2 compute resource. Connect to an EC2. Now, what's guys? Set up a connection to an EC2 compute resource for this database. So it means that I want to set up an EC2 connection to an EC2 instance. So I don't want to go this route, right? I don't want to connect this guy to an EC2 instance. I just want to access it. Don't set up a connection to a compute resource for this database. You can manually set up a connection to a compute resource later. I can do it later. The VPC this guy is going to enter is my Frank VPC. All right, that's a VPC. Now this is subnet group. So by default, this guy is creating a subnet group for us, but we can create a subnet group. Let's see if we can create a subnet duplicate. So that's that part now. So subnet group is going to collect all your subnets. So let me create a subnet group. So before you create a database on what's it called on AWS, you always create a subnet group first. So let me create a DB subnet group. Let me give it a name. Let me call it ecom DB sub group sub GRP. Description, give it that description. In what VPC? In Frank VPC. I'm creating that subnet. Now add subnets, add availability zones, add all the 3 availability zones for high availability. Now add the subnets. I add the subnets, the first subnet, second subnet, the third subnet. That's it. And click on what? Create. So I've created what? This what? E-commerce DB subnet group. That's all. Now come over here. I won't sit until I refresh. Maybe I will start this all over again. Let me refresh. I'll start it all over. No voila. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Let me see if I can get that subnet group. Let me go to the term bottom. VPC, Frank VPC. Okay, you can see now. That subnet group is now coming now. You can see ecom DB group. Now let's start our stuff. Standard creates. The engine is MySQL engine. Then the version is this. Template is production templates. Availability and durability, I just need a single instance. No, the database is ecom DB01. Credential is admin. Password is CCILIADM123. Okay, that's the password. The database instance is standard instance. The standard instance is just this guy, dbmsysgd.large. All right. The storage, keep it at 100. Then storage auto scaling, just keep it at 2000. Sorry, 200. Sorry, 200. Scroll. Now the connectivity, take this option. Do not connect to what? To an EC2 instance. The VPC is Frank VPC. The subnet group is a subnet group that we created, the ecom DB subgroup. Now, see you. In production, you wouldn't want to expose your database to the internet, all right? So you always want to deploy your database in a private subnet, that is not exposed to the internet. RDS doesn't assign a public IP address to the database. Only Amazon EC2 instances and other resources inside the VPC can connect to your database. Choose one or more VPC security groups that specify which resources can connect to the database. Now, because I want to access this guy from the outside, I'll use public access. RDS will create for me a public IP address to my database. All right. I'm going to do a second option if time permits, which is other option. Now let's take this option. VPC security group. I have one, which is Frank SG. That's cool. Availability zone. Let me put it in that availability zone. I don't need a proxy. Certificate is by default. I don't need additional configuration. Now, how do I want to authenticate to this database? I want to authenticate with password authentication or password and IAM database authentication. So I just want it simple, password authentication. I think that's all. Scroll, that's all. So for your information, this is what these guys are charging. 494 USD. Is it per month or something? So if you create one, once you finish practicing, alaye, delete them and the price will be free. Because I'm running what? Production what? Templates. I'm showing us something. All right. Let me take this guy for production templates. Because production templates, you wouldn't want to expose these guys to the internet. All right. So I don't need a public IP. So it means that I can't access it from the outside. All right. So now let's continue. I will show you something. I can only access it through an EC2 instance. Oh, everything unclean. Why now? Why? Fuck. Oh shit. Ecom DB01. Oh. Standard V2. Storage 100. Auto scaling. Auto scaling. Why is it disabled? We're not available for multi-AZ cluster. So I've choose multi-AZ cluster. What did I take? Sorry, single instance. Right, single instance. Right. So see the options though. So single instance is available. Auto scaling is available for single instance. But if you take multi-AZ, auto scaling is not be available. All right. So know the differences now. So this will be 200. This guy, IPv4, Frank VPC, subnet group is this guy. All right. No. Okay. Select an existing security group, Frank SG. Okay. Then availability zone is this. Know that password is this. That's all. That's all. But it don't increase again. 500. So let's just create it and show us something. Wait, let me take public access first. Let's take public access. I just want to show something first. Then create DB. So this database is getting created. Was that the name? Close. And I'm not changing name. So it's getting created. Why now? I mean, this is a change in name now. Why isn't giving him that name? DB identifier. So it's getting created. So let's wait for some time. Now let me create another database without internet access. This is with internet access. Let me create another one without internet access. MySQL. Let me just use dev or free tier. Free tier. Ecom DB02. Admin. Password. CEC. All right, so let's go. Simple, bossable class, very simple. General purpose, allocate storage 200. Is there auto scaling? There is, no worry. Let's go. VPC is Frank VPC. The DB subnet group is this. Public access, no. All right. Security group, Frank SG. Availability zone, 1B. And then that's all. Create DB. So one is public access. This guy, close. This guy is private access. You can't access it from the internet. This guy is public access. Let me see if I can modify this identifier. Modify. Yeah, I can't modify the name. I can't change the name. Actions. Edit. I can't change the name. All right, it takes some time. Let's wait for this guy to be finished creating. Take some time. So while this guy is creating, let's just pause this video a bit. Pause, resume. Thank you. Guys, no sleep, oh, no sleep, oh. I don't forget, I no record, though. Now, this is the endpoint. All right. So I want to connect to this manage database instance. So this is what I will do. I'll come to my terminal. I'll use my SQL client. The user is what? The user is admin. The host is that endpoint. Let me check if this will work. It's saying access denied. Now I need to add password -p. Let's see. It's requesting for password. Let me put the password. CECILIADUM. Oh, there's no at. 1, 2, 3. So you can see, guys, I have been able to log in to this managed database instance. Guys, look at it now. This is a remote database. This database is not local to my machine. It is remote. So while I'm connecting to a remote database, I have to specify the host. I have to use this flag -h to target the host. This host is coming from what? RDS. I have login. So I can say show databases. So everything I did on the local one, I can still do it here. create database. Students created. Show databases. Students. Use students. I have switched towards the student DB. So this is it, guys. All right. This is the database that has what? That has public access. That has public access. Now let me exit. Let me try to connect with the other database that does not have public access, which is this guy. I'll open this guy. Under connectivity and security, I'll have the endpoint. Copy it. Copy. Come to this machine. I'll say MySQL dash user is admin. The host is that guy. Specify password. I'll tell us something. CECILIADUM at 123. Let's try to access it again. What's happening? Oh, I will put at CECILIADUM 123. Now, this is a private, what's it called? It's a private database, but I'm logging into it. All right. I can log into this database because the database and this EC2 instance, they are sharing the same security group. I will show us something else. Let me exit. Be attentive, guys. Let me use my base machine. Let me copy this command. Let me try to connect on my base machine. Copy. Now, this is my physical machine. I want to connect to that instance. Let's check. CECILIA. So, it's going to time out. Why? Because this database does not have internet access. So you cannot access it from the internet. You can only access it locally. I'm able to access it on this guy, because this machine and the database, they share the same security group. Look at the security group. Now, I'm going to create another VM with a different security group and show us that we won't be able to access that guy. So let me close it, terminate it. Now, let me go to EC2 instance, duplicate. Guys, watch you. All these things is practical. So you need to be seeing these things practical, how they are working. I'll launch a new instance. I'll call it no DB access. Amazon Linux, no wahala. Keeper is Frankie. Network, Frank VPC, sub. Now, security group, I want to create a new security group. Security group will be DB access. All right. For DB access. Just SSH. That's all. Launch. CO. View instance. DB access. Let's wait. So now this EC2 instance and my database, they are running on two separate, this is a private database, two separate security group. So for that reason, this guy might not be able to access that database. The same way I can't access it from my what? From my local machine. But let's check. Let's connect. Copy. Come over here. Let me connect. So I am connected to that EC2 instance. All right. Let me install MySQL client. Yum install MariaDB. MariaDB. So I'm going to install MySQL client. I'm going to install MySQL clients. I'm going to install MySQL clients. Come on. No time. Complete. Now let's start the service. Systemctl restart MariaDB. Started. Now, let me try to connect now. Let me pick RDS. Copy the endpoints. Copy. Come over here. I'll say MySQL -user is admin. Then the host, that is the host. Then -p. Put the password. Password is CIN-UM123. No. What happened? Okay, guys. Shit. Okay. I could connect. What's happening? Public access. I think this thing is coming from somewhere. Wait, though. This is that guy now. Why it didn't connect me? This is the one without public access. Subnet group. I think this access is coming from publicly accessible. No, now. So they're not sharing the same. Oh, they are sharing the same subnets. They are sharing the same subnets. They are sharing the same subnets. They are sharing the same subnet. So it's possible. Yeah. But I can't access it from the outside without gosh, I got you. They're sharing the same subnets. Damn. Okay, let me use a different subnet. I need to demonstrate something, guys. Please just bear with me. Please. Power off. Let me come to let me recreate this guy. Instances. DB access. Let me terminate it. Terminate. Now let me create launch new one. No DB access. Launch new one. Key pair is Frankie. The network, I need to change network. I need to use this. Let me use default network. Default. All right. Subnet is default subnet as well. Default subnets. Default. Okay. Security group. I have a security group. Security group of okay, let me create a new security group. Let me call it DB access SG. All right. That's it. Let's create, launch. So, because I want to demonstrate something, guys. So there is the new one, the new guy. So this guy is on a different subnet entirely. It's a different subnet, all right? Different subnet entirely. So it's not sharing the same subnet as the database. So I think it's now up. Let's try to connect, copy. Come over here. Yes. All right, so let me install MySQL clients. Yum install Maria DB. Is it 105, right? 105 server. All right. .105 server. Bam, 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 bam. All right, complete. Let's restart the service. System CTL restarts MariaDB. Perfect. Now let's try to connect to this guy now. Let's come back here. Let's pick, because publicly accessible, no. Let's pick this guy, pick it, copy, come over here, and let's do something. Let's say what? MySQL-u is admin. The host is that host. Then the password. Let's put the password. CECILIADUM123. Yes, we cannot connect because what? This guy is not open to the public. So how can we connect? We can only connect if we share what? If we share the security group, if we add the security group to the security group that this database has access to. Let's check. Now, under this database, I'll scroll down, connectivity and security. I'll scroll down. I'll come to security group. This database only have access to this security group. Now, I am going to do something. I'll click on this. I can add from here, cancel. So I'll go to security group, guys. See, I'll come here. I'll come to security group. See, watch. I'll come to that Frank SG. This is the Frank SG. All right. I'll click on the security group ID. Now, I'm going to add access for, where's that security group? Let me duplicate this guy. Duplicate. I'm going to add access for this VM, this virtual machine owns security group, so that he will be able to access this database externally. Now, let's go to security groups. Where's that security group for? Now, this is it, DB access, right? So I need to add this DB access to where? To the security group of the database. So I'll click on what? Edit inbound rules. I'll click on add a rule. The rule is a custom TCP. Now I'm going to open port 3306 because MySQL runs on port 3306. If you can see from here, it runs on port 3306. All right. So I'll open this port and I'll give it access to a security group. I'll call it, that security group is DB access SG. That's it. DB access. This is a security group. So now on this security group, wait, let me illustrate this thing so that you understand this thing very well. Very key. Now this is Frank SG. Frank's security group is being used by this ecom database. This security group is being used by this ecom database. Now, I'm trying to access this ecom database from an instance that runs on a different security group. It runs on a different security group. It's called DB Access SG. It runs on a different what? Security group. So that what I will do for this VM to gain access to this database, I'm going to add this security group as a firewall rule, as a rule inside this security group. I'm going to add this security group as a route, as a rule, not a route, as a rule inside of what? This security group. And that's what I've done here. This is Frank SG. On Frank SG, I am opening this port, the port that this database runs on, 3306. For who? For this security group, DB Access Security Group. This is the illustration, guys. So at the end of the day, I'm going to have something like this. I'm adding this security group to this as a rule on this guy. So that at the end of the day, my VM should be able to access this guy. Let's try it and see. Come over here. All right. Now let's click save. Save. I have added that rule. So I have added it, this security group. Now let's check our instance. Let's check our instance. So this guy has timeout. Connection to this guy is timeout. Now let's recall, let's try to connect again. Let's put the password. CAC. Still not going. Still not going. Now let's go to RDS. Security group. Let me refresh. I have added access for this guy. All right. You can see now for this guy. Okay. Why it's not going? Let me check. What's good now? Add access for this port. Wait, let me check something. They come. It's custom. Yeah, it's custom, and there is no IP. It's security group. This is this guy. All right. Security group. So can still gain access. Wait. Settings. Oh, this is just settings. All right, guys. No wala. Don't time out. That's timed out. Okay. That's timed out. I'll look at this thing. I'll look at this parts. Then I'll return back to us on this part. All right. In a situation where the EC2 instance doesn't have the database doesn't have public access, and the instance are not on the same subnet. All right. I'll look into that. Yes, so that's it, guys. So far, so good. We couldn't get this guy. So it's something that we'll have to look into again. All right. So far, so good. We saw NFS, we saw package management, and we saw databases. Running MySQL, Postgre on a standalone virtual instance, and also running RDS on AWS. Okay. So guys, let me start deleting these guys so that this guy, let me delete this guy that doesn't have public access. Delete. What's it saying? No, I don't need to create snapshots. I don't need to retain automatic. We are taking a snapshots. No, I don't need to create snapshots. I acknowledge this. To delete, to command deletion, type delete me. All right, delete me. All right, so let's delete that guy. So this guy is going down. All right. So I only have one database, which is this other guy, right? So I want to show us another method. If you don't want to access your database instance from the terminal, all right, you want to access it with a GUI. MySQL has what we call MySQL Workbench. Do I have it here? Workbench. Okay, so this MySQL Workbench, you can download it. So this version that I have is for my Mac. You can always download MySQL Workbench. So once you open MySQL Workbench, all right, you click on this plus sign. Click on plus sign. So this plus sign will ask you to connect to your MySQL instance. So give it a connection name. Connection name is, I can call it e-commerce DB. Then the connection method is standard TCP IP. Then the host name is, click the database. The host name is this guy. Copy this host name. Copy. Come over here. Where is it? Paste it here. Control V. The port obviously is 3306. Then the username is admin. The password, it will always ask for password. Don't worry. I think that's all. So let's click on test connection first. Put the password. The password is CEC. So I can save this password in the keychain. I say okay. So it is giving me a successfully made the MySQL connection. It was fine. Now let me say okay. Okay. Now here's the DB. Double click on it. It's trying to authenticate. Now I have logged into my database. All right. So let me check at my schema. Do you see that database that I created on the terminal? Here is the database. There are no tables. So this is how you can actually, use a GUI to manage your database, your remote database from AWS. With this MySQL Workbench, I want to call today's session to a close. And we'd love to see you guys next week. But before we say that, is there any query? Since there's no query, please guys, the journey is becoming tougher. All we've been doing is just touch. Now we are now gradually, we are creeping into more advanced things, right? So when we get into, where's that part? Because we'll be doing so many things. Sorry, at the same time. So just finish all of these. Package management, NFS. Okay, touch this guy as well. So when we meet on Friday, we shall start with what? Web server administration. All right? Web server administration. So we'll take it gradually on that day. All right? Then small, we might finish everything. Okay? So since there's no query, I'll call it a day. Let me stop my recording. Stop recording. And yeah,